on rock and roll, you know, I see what you did with your back. Yo, you're one of my favorite humans. Um, First, I'd like to say thank you. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all rocking with us. Welcome to the Instagram Live, the last iteration of how we did it. I have a very, very special guest, Reggie Perry Jr., that I'm going to talk about in a second. My name is Sarita Gates. I'm your hostess with the absolute hostess. I'm an archivist and founder of Most Incredible Studio, where we create cultural compositions and collectible artifacts. Meaning we take memory into experience and IP into tangible form. We make memory tangible. And we're, again, I'm excited to have this one wrap it up. This theme is the frame. As we talk about, you know, we did the build with Adam, we did the packaging with Adrian, and last but not least, we got my man Reggie for the frame. I'm gonna give some context. Welcome to those who are joining us now. Some context. You know, I'm not even gonna get in my bag yet. I'm gonna get in my little purse. I'm not gonna get in my bag yet. But shout out to my homegirl Renata from Black Archives, who connected me with this genius of creative, for making a connect. I'm grateful that we got to cook on some other projects. You know, we got to cook on the Because of Them We Can project, the Paper Plane project. And, you know, before we hop into the magic of the frame that you did for Renata, was good. I was just shouting you out. You made the pieces. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's up, Renata?
Before we even hop into, you know, the Mini Jimi and what you just did, like you just went crazy. Talk to me a little bit around your journey into designing, your journey into, you know, 3D and like literally making images move. What drew you to it, and what keeps you excited about it? Because you consistently pumping out joint after joint after joint after joint. So talk about, you know, your background a little bit and how you got started.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always loved like animation since I was a kid. So, summer '94, Lion King, Toy Story was kind of like a pivotal summer for me, seeing those movies,
Yeah.
especially like Toy Story and like the 3D, and being like, dang, like people could make stuff on 3D, like on the computer in 3D. Because I've always had a computer. Like my dad was like real tech forward. So literally from like 88, 89, I was like on the computer at like, 6, 7 years old.
Okay,
Um,
God had you ready.
so yeah, he had me ready with it, right? So I was like, this is before Windows, like MS DOS days, all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
so yeah, I was always into it, but it just always kind of felt out of reach. Like he took me down to Savannah like my senior year to visit SCAD and stuff. But even back in, like 2001, the joint was like $25,000 a year. So that was out of the question. And around that same time, I kind of got into music. So that's when music started moving towards like software, Fruity Loops, stuff like that. Started making music, was doing that for a while, moved out to LA, moved back, blah, blah, blah. And then, about 2000, I'd say about 2012, I came across After Effects and started playing around with that a little bit. So I started learning After Effects. I kind of saw where things were going. I was like, making music's cool, but if I can kind of combine these different aspects and kind of like skill stack on top of each other, I could probably build something even greater. So started doing that. Got a corporate job doing animation and stuff in like 2015. And then in 2020, like right before the pandemic, I started playing around with some 3D stuff, started messing around with Blender. And I was like, and then the pandemic hit, so I was at home. I mean, I had a newborn, I had a 19-month at home or whatever, but we still had a lot of time to just be at home. So I just started like cranking it out. It was like, this is kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity to be home, and like instead of using that time to commute and have to drive to the office and stuff, I'm gonna invest that time into 3D, something that I always wanted to do. So I just started banging it out and started shooting for that 10,000 hours, and here we are.
Man, listen, again, I mean, I've said this in my other lives, but I think one of my superpowers is being able to rock with a creative and just be like, actually go here's what we're doing, do your thing. You know what I mean? And again, I'm really grateful for Renata connecting us, because I said my folks go great. For the folks that have joined us, Sneak was good, cousin. Like my people really go crazy. And so, you know, when I got this joint, I was like, man, let me hit. Oh, we doing something with the Museum of Pop Culture and the Hendrix Estate? Oh nah, let me hit Reggie up real with nothing. Here is the render of the set. You'll be great. And so, you know, again, we had Adam build the cultural composition. We had Adrian do the packaging, and my man Reggie just really gave us a frame and we was already talking 3D, but literally the video is out of this world, literally. So even before we hopped into, you know, me hitting you on the text, I mean, that's been consistent with all three stories, right? Like, talk to me about your relationship with Jimi Hendrix, right? And what that looks like. So by the time I hit you, you like, Sarita, say no more. Got you.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was like a huge Hendrix fan, so like I was always familiar with them growing up. Um, and I even remember like around being like around 12 or so, there was some sort of like anniversary CD or something that we had got, and it had like the Star Spangled Banner, his rendition of Star Spangled Banner on there. And I remember just like hitting rewind on that CD and trying to learn how to play it on the guitar back when, you know, when I was like 12 and stuff. So it was always he was always like part of my life. Like my dad had this big silk screen, which I later had like up in my apartment in college.
Mm.
And just going through the records and listening to the records. And even had a chance to go to a studio back like in 2016 and like spend some time there and things like that. So he's always kind of been in my life in some way, whether it's being a fan or actually being able to see a studio or whatever the case may be. So when you hit me, I was like, just it's an easy call. Like we got this. I can do this. So
Yo,
awesome.
good people. Hi, welcome. Again, we talking to Reggie Perry Jr., the mastermind who goes after mine. He is the frame for what we had, essentially the visual experience in 3D moving graphic form. And we were just talking about like his receipts around Hendrix, right? And what has also been consistent, I'm sending texts. Emails are cool, but when it's time to get to it, let me send it. You know, I hit Reggie. I gave him the render, no context, and was like, "Go, be great." So you've done so like what? I got 575 questions for you, my guy. Process. I know you was bumping Jimi Hendrix joint. Like you was sending me like the silk screen flag that you talk about. You were sending me like images. Walk me through like your creative process after you seen the render and you was like, oh, we about to wrap this up. It's about to be super dope.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, like you said, I pulled out the records, so I started listening to those, looking at the artwork and things like that. And then, because I remember I hit you and I was like, can we use the music or not? Right. And yeah, at first you're like, no, we can't use the music. So, because
It was
originally I would have used Little Miss Lover, which is like the drums of What's the Scenario that Tribe used and all that kind of stuff. Because I really like those drums. And like I said, back in my music days when I was like doing the music thing, I had sampled that song before. There's like a few different versions of that song. So I love the groove. Like it has like a, obviously since it was sampled in hip hop, it feels like hip hop. So I was like, I wanted to use something like that, but he's like, we can't use the music. So I wanted to first kind of create some music that had that vibe. So, you know, I mean, I started looking for samples, started looking for drum loops, things like that, that can capture that vibe. And then like once I had the music, I was like, I know exactly what to do. I was listening to the Axis Boldest Love album. I love the like the psychedelic
yep.
like artwork on there. So I wanted to incorporate like from a technical standpoint, like geometry nodes and simulations, like within Blender and Houdini. I wanted to combine some of that stuff and just try to get like some trippy psychedelic visuals that, you know, are you experience type vibe basically.
Yo, let me not hold you. When you sent me this joint, for those, I mean, I'm a J head for those that don't know. I mean, I'm rapping him all the time, right? It's like this moment in Fade to Black where he's like with Rick Rubin in the studio. He's like, "You a genius for this one, Rick." Yo, when Reggie sent me the, "You a genius for this one, Reggie." No notes.
10 out
No
of 10, no
notes.
notes.
Oh man, so all right, so you was in your bag, you was getting to it. Were there any like challenges that you noticed, like, oh, maybe walk us through what's the process around creating the type of genius video that you did, and then you layered it. Today I actually just want to talk about the music that you did, right? Like you layered it on the music, so it literally felt like super cinematic. It Let me tell you the energy it gave me. Let me not hold you. You know that first when you watch Belly with Nas and D
The
and then
intro.
the club.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm about to take a look around. Oh, slow it down. Like it was giving that energy, and I was like, "Yo, my Reggie."
Yeah,
Ah,
I wanted to pull in, like I wanted to be like if you were seeing him live. Basically, kind of what I was going out after, like with the introduction of the music, was if you were watching like an old school like documentary on a musician, right? So obviously, there's been a lot over the last few years, from like the Sly Stone documentary to Rick James, the Bee Gees documentaries, all these documentaries from people from kind of like that time period. And if it was like a sound check right before a show, so say it was like a few hours before the show, and you hear them kind of just like fiddling around with some drums and some guitars, and then it comes in and they play like 30 seconds of the music, and then it kind of goes in and you hear like the person in the background, mic left, mic one, mic two. So that's kind of what I was trying to put you like in that space with like the sound design and the music production.
and and again, I've worked with people that I gotta give guidance to, and that's cool. I sent a render. Like, I don't think, like, if we talk about level 1 versus level 4,000, I sent him level 1. He got to 4,000 on his own, right? So were there any like elements, like I know you were talking about kind of like the psychedelic piece, and then with the music being an in sync. Yo, you blew up the pieces. Like, what? Talk to me a little bit about like the elements that might have required some iteration or like some creative solutions.
Yeah. So I'm always trying to learn new things like within the 3D space, and pretty much just like make myself more marketable. So when you hit me, I had actually been spending, I was probably like a month into like learning Houdini. So if you're familiar with like any kind of visual effects that you're going to see on movies, if you see a building blow up, that's 3D, or you see, um, there's a show, My Neighbors and Friends, that just finished up on Apple, right? If you watch the intro of that and he's sitting there and like the glasses are blowing up and stuff, like that's all like simulations in Houdini. So I was like, I want to learn how to do that because it's just going to help me to create, more crazy stuff. And then with Legos, it was kind of twofold, right? So with Legos, you have all these pieces that you can scatter them out on the table, then you're picking them back and putting them all together. So at the end, obviously, they all come together. And then also, too, with like his music and psychedelics and expanding your mind, you know what I mean? You're going to explode, you got to expand your consciousness, right? So it was kind of like a twofold thing behind blowing up the pieces at the beginning and then kind of bringing it all together. Like you go through this journey and then you come back and it's like put back together at the end. So that was my thinking behind that.
So you're the master of the double entendre. Heard you. Copy. Clear, clear. For those that just joined us, welcome. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You're rocking with us. My name is Serena Gates, founder of Most Incredible Studio. Literally make memory tangible using Lego bricks. I'm with the genius, the mastermind who goes after his, Reggie Perry Jr., who created essentially a visual film for our release of Mini Jimi, the first time ever that uh, a legend of this magnitude has collaborated with us at Most Incredible. We collaborated with the Museum of Pop Culture, and we collaborated with the Hendrix estate to get the okay to make this happen. So thank y'all for rocking with us. With Reggie. Reggie is giving us the keys. He's giving us the inside scoop as to what was happening brain when he, decided to make this happen. So, all right. So yeah. So you hit us with the master. Yeah, the master of the double entendre, literally in video form. Was there any like challenges that you came across? Like, yo, I want to do this, but I can't do this, or maybe I don't know this, so I gotta learn this, or like, you know what I'm saying? Were there any kind of like Snapple facts and or like Easter eggs that you kind of have to like figure out along the way, or even like Lynn. You could have been like, yo, Sarita, I want to make this a 30-minute film, but you want to use
I
it for
mean, yeah, I wouldn't say there were necessarily any challenges. Like I've been so deep into this for like the last 5 years. Like I have a whole playlist of like tutorials and videos of people walking through like different techniques, whether it's like, because geometry nodes is basically math, right? So you like putting you put different numbers in. If you half it, it might go half speed. If you multiply by 4, it's going to move faster. It's going to expand in different ways, whatever the case may be. So I have all of these videos as kind of like reference points and like mental notes in my mind of like, if I need to figure out how to do something, I can go to this video because I've seen it before and I watched this video, right? So I knew that I wanted to kind of have that psychedelic feel to it. So I went and watched a couple of tutorials, pulled some code from here, pulled some geometry node setups from here, or whatever the case may be, and then pieced that all together. And I mean, it came together pretty quickly. I mean, I probably made this in like 4 days, to be honest with you.
like, yo, I'm for it. Get a gas place, right? Like, I sent him a text. I sent him a render. Yo, back.
I'm on the call. My
He's
son,
like,
he's
I
saying,
want
hey,
video.
yeah, I'll get with you in a minute. Give him
And
on.
God does it in 4 days. Like, so you made history in 4 days. Cool, heard you. Copy, understood.
I mean, yeah, like you sit with it, you sit with the music, you catch the vibe, you take it in, you know what I mean? You consume it, and then it just kind of it will work itself out in the background, like running like a background program. And then when it's time to sit down and make it, you know what I mean? You sit down and make it. So that's kind of just how I guess I operate.
Woo, and we give thanks. And we give thanks. So just one more thing before we wrap up. Is there anything that you would have liked to, like, I can't even imagine what a 2.0 version of this will be. But would there have been like anything that you would have liked that would have even enhanced it even more than how you bodied that you were thinking about? Like saying it's like when Pusha drop a verse and then we hear Malice and we're like, oh,
John 10:10, that's my usual. I
you know.
don't I don't think so. I'm 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 pretty excited and like content with like how it turned out, right? So it's like even when we met and it's about like creating opportunity or like saying, hey, let's try this, right? So when we met, you said what you were working on. I was like, hey, let me try to make a video for this, right? So we did that, and then we did the next joint. And it's like once we kind of get the workflow and understand like what you need and what you want, we were able to kind of expand on that. So it's like by the time we get to this third, even like from a technology standpoint of when you send me those files, at first there was like some kind of things I had to figure out or whatever the case may be. But then I started doing more research. I find some plugins for Blender that's going to help me take those files and use them even easier than, from the paper planes joint, for instance. And then, yeah, I mean, I love it. I think it came out great. Like, I think it tells a story. I think it captures the vibe. I think it did exactly what it needed to do, for the piece. And for Jimmy being Jimmy, just like playing a role in my life, and my dad being a huge fan of him and all kind of things, I feel like we captured what needed to be captured for sure.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I do want to shout out my boy Randall, my partner in arms for many, many, many years in this most incredible thing. You already know. Yo, Reggie, this was a pleasure and an honor, my guy. Like for real, like again, I've said time and time again, I enjoy working with artists who are genius at what they are geniuses at. I'm like, yo, I need pop, 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 pop. And again, the result was, yo, I sent this to Jimmy's sister. She was like, what? I like, you know what I mean? I sent this to the good people at the Museum of Pop Culture. They was like, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Like, stop, stop. So, just the ability to like bring so many things together. Like again, I said I've been on like my Quincy Jones conductor vibe. It's like, okay, we got this. Kadeem, what's good, baby? We got this, we got this, we got these elements, we got the cultural composition, we got the packaging. Now we got the 3D video that's going make people feel like the seeing in belly. And I'm so grateful that you said yes to rock out. Always appreciative. Tell the people what you got cooking next. Where can they find you? Please tap in to Reggie at Nobody's Famous. But talk to the people, Reggie. Tell them what you got next.
Yeah, for sure. You can catch me, like you said, at Nobody Famous. My website is reggieperryjr.com. So you go there and see a bunch of different work that I've done. Currently, I'm working on this Nas joint. I made this remix probably like 3 months ago, and I have this idea in my head of how I want the visuals to look, and it's finally kind of coming together. So I'm doing that. My good brother Kareem, who tapped in earlier, he's working on a film on DJ House Shoes. I'm going to be editing that, like doing the motion graphics and things like that. So that's going to be dope. Like, I mean, they got a bunch of dope people in there. So I'm excited to like go through that footage and watch those interviews and see what's good with that. And other than that, I mean, I'm just making, like creating, you know what I mean? Like that's my outlet, my passion. So that's what I do.
Well, listen, we 3 for 3. I got another one. You already know how I do. I got Oh my God. I got some joys for you. Thank y'all for tuning in again at Most Incredible Studio. We literally make memory tangible via cultural composition using Lego bricks. We get to partner with the best, the greatest in the world. Adam Ward for the build, Adrian Franks for the packaging, Reggie Perry Jr. for the motion graphics film. Please follow Most Incredible Studio. This was a pleasure, my God. This was such a pleasure. Thank you for saying yes. And yeah, y'all tune in for what we got. Rubs hands like Birdman.
And I do want to say too, I appreciate you as well. You know what I mean? Like when we linked up back in like November, I was like, you know, I saw what you're doing. I love what you were doing. And I was like, hey, let's try this. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, let's do it. And I appreciate you for that. Right. And was able to create some synergy and build to what it's built so far. And I feel like it's only beginning. So I'm
this is
excited.
only we got the Star Wars film and like another 2 drops. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Myself, Sarita Gates, live and direct with Reggie Perry Jr. as we talk about how we did it for the Mini Jimi collector's piece cultural composition joint done by Most Incredible Studio, the Museum of Pop Culture in the Hendrix Estate. Thank y'all for rocking. Y'all be cool, good people. Peace. Much love to you. Follow Nobody's Famous. Follow Most Incredible Studio. Y'all be cool. Drink some water. Happy Sunday. You're dead.